Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Today on CityCast Boise, a huge transformation is underway at the former LeBois racetrack, including a new pro soccer stadium and a huge public park. What will this massive redevelopment mean for the Treasure Valley? Where's the money coming from? And how will it impact the long-term feral cat residents? It's Monday, August 4th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Joining me today is KTVB host and reporter Justin Core. So great to have you back on the show, Justin.
Lindsay, thank you. It's absolutely been too long. So appreciate you having me back.
It's always a great day when we have you back on the show. But before we get into what's going on at LeBois Park, really quickly, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who signed up to become a CityCast Boise neighbor. Last week was our launch campaign, and Boise, you really showed up. And we said we wanted to exceed our original goal of 40 members and hit our stretch goal of 60. And we did it because of you. We got a whole bunch of new neighbors, and we are so grateful. We can't wait to see you at our Neighbors Only event. Be on the lookout for more info on that soon. And thanks to everyone who has joined since last Thursday. I'm going to need to take a deep breath before I read all these names because there were so many of you. So here we go. Thank you to Frank M., Cynthia H., Kimberly S., Kelly L., Marsha B., Lisa B., Molly L., Stacy L., Sarah P., Rebecca C., Susan W., Jennifer F., Melody R., Paul F., George P., Matt K., Manny H., Mandy A., Susan R., Jennifer D., and Sandy H. Whew! Thank you all so much. And full disclosure, we're reading these shout outs on Friday. So if you didn't hear your name yet, we'll be sure to shout you out this week. It really means so much that all of you have joined CityCast Boise Neighbors. And if you missed the founding members week or you just didn't get a chance to sign up, it's not too late. You can become a CityCast Boise neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. Our doors are always open, the coffee is always on, and you can sign up for just $10 a month. That's membership.citycast.fm. Thank you all so much. Okay, Justin, I need to ask you about LeBois Park, which is an Expo, Idaho site that used to be known for horse racing and has mostly sat in limbo for several years now. But it's in the middle of a massive transformation into what's being called a multi-purpose mecca. Now, we're talking pro soccer stadium, skate parks, concerts, and ecological facelift. What's driving the dramatic evolution of this site?
Yeah, great question. And I guess maybe we just start at the beginning. For so long, starting back in the early 70s, this was sort of not a multi-purpose mecca, but really just the horse racing mecca for all of Idaho. If you wanted to see horse racing, if you're a fan of that, if you wanted to race a horse, maybe bet on the ponies, this was the place to be. I remember being down there a number of times for sports, especially on Derby Day, cheering on Gary Stevens even from afar. But in the early 2000s, went away. They tried to bring it back, and then they decided that really the only way to keep it there was through historical racing machines, which the legislature ruled essentially were slot machines. And they're like, well, can't do that. So it's just totally sat empty, except for maybe some feral cats for about 9 years. The fairgrounds still had some concerts over there during the fair, but really just nothing going on in what is a prime piece of real estate right along the river, right sort of in the heart of Garden City, even though it's actually property owned by Ada County. So I think really what started it was actually the Biden administration making all these public funds available post-pandemic, and the county decided to use a bunch of money. Let me get the number here. $32 million of that to build a 50-acre park on a chunk of this land that runs right along the river there. And that, according to the drawings, the renderings, is going to look gorgeous. So then the folks who run Expo Idaho and the fairgrounds said, well, if that's going in, maybe we have an opportunity to turn Les Bois, this racetrack, this horse racing, where we used to have all that, into something new. And they had somebody step up and say, hey, what about soccer? What about pro soccer here in this area? And that sort of started this whole thing.
Yeah, and Athletic Club Boise broke ground here just a few months ago. It sounds like, they wanted to ride this upswell. And it feels like soccer excitement is really gaining momentum now. What kind of an impact do you expect pro soccer to have economically for this area and in terms of how people use this space?
So I expect it to be massive, and everybody involved with the project expects it to be massive. There are no guarantees, though. I remember doing a story specifically when I worked in the sports department here at KTVB on all the kids who played youth soccer. It's still, I believe, the most popular youth sport in the nation, and it's been that way for decades. And then something happens around high school where all those kids stop playing soccer and they move to other sports, and they also stop watching soccer or being a fan of soccer. But for whatever reason, maybe with the success of the U.S. women's team that continues to, just be one of the best teams, one of the best clubs in the absolute nation, and some other pro teams certainly coming in here to the Northwest, like the Thorns, that people have started to become bigger fans of the sport. So the people involved in this, and I as well, expect people to really show up to support this team. And if they're showing up to see this team, they're going to have a number of games every season, maybe 20 some, I think I heard, and they start next year. That's going to bring just a lot more people down to that area. The park is going to bring people down to that area. And again, it's in the heart of Garden City there. Garden City leaders are over the moon about this, because all those businesses around there, all those shops, they're just going to see a lot more traffic, a lot more people coming in. And the good news, everybody worries about parking. It's the main complaint and worry whenever anything is built or grows, which is sort of a pet peeve of mine. But huge parking lot already there, so that's all set. And people can do whatever, shop at those local shops, eat at those local eateries. I think everybody hopes and everybody expects just to be a big boon economically, though we don't have specific numbers, but we'll see.
I would say, Justin, when we go to Expo Idaho, though, we're already dodging the feral cats. We're worried now about how many other cars, how hard is parking going to be now, Justin, with all these additional people going to a soccer game or to the park?
Well, if I've learned anything from that Netflix series, I do not mess with cats. So if you're a cat lover, me too, baby. Grew up with cats. Love them. Absolutely. Don't touch the cats. But I think that sort of the plus side to this, they are going to have to build a pro level soccer stadium there, but a lot of the infrastructure can be used, reused, updated, and they'll be all right. Sort of the main shape of the racetrack and all that, where the grandstands are, that's where almost all the stands are going to be. All that's going to stay. They just kind of need to update it, upgrade it, and they're well on their way to doing that right now.
Got a kid who's always asking, why? Summit Innovation Lab is the place where curious kids in the Treasure Valley thrive. Summit Innovation Lab isn't your typical STEM center. It's educator-owned, totally local, and combines professional-grade equipment with the personalized attention only a master's-level educator can provide. And they keep classes small, so every child gets the support they need. They offer a variety of year-round classes, from Lego robotics to preschool engineering and computer science. Summit Innovation Lab keeps your child growing and learning. Is your child's school closed on Friday? Looking for something for them to do on those random wonky days off during the school year? No problem. They offer Friday camps and are open every day the schools around the valley are closed. And this fall, they're leveling up with their new nonprofit, STEM Boise, and hosting Girls Who Code to bring even more access to STEM fun. If you're ready to fuel your kids' curiosity and get them off those screens, head to summitinnovationlab.com to explore classes.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care too. Sephora, good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
Justin, I'm really curious. When we talk about development or revitalization or growth in Boise, there's always so much talk about economic development. We need economic development, or we need housing. And not to downplay it, there absolutely is a housing crisis. But I'm just so curious, how did Ada County land on we're going to make a 50 plus acre massive park? Like how was that part of the plan or part of what they settled on?
I think, again, it just kind of comes down to money. And you have already so much development along the river there as far as like really, really upscale apartments and condos and, eateries and businesses, especially across the river from the Whitewater Park. It had been a while since I drove through there. And after doing this story, talking to the folks at Expo, Idaho, drove through there, I'm like, my gosh, it's a whole new world down there. Any of us who grew up here remember that Garden City used to be known for trailer parks and trailer homes and folks living by the river, which was awesome. A lot of them, unfortunately, heartbreakingly, have been forced out now because they did not own the land underneath them. So I think that with that money, with that Biden administration money, the county had to use it for the benefit of the public. And they thought, well, why not a park? And it seems like a great idea to me and to everybody now involved in Boise Pro Soccer as well, that having something like that right next to that, not only that new pro soccer field, but also with that are going to come other things, public athletic fields like youth soccer pitches and diamonds for baseball, softball, whatever. It's just sort of going to be a meeting place for the public, play sports. And then after that, I think there will be an economic plus. And I think this is sort of, again, a multi-purpose mecca, really, really a draw for the people in and around that community and beyond.
Well, and I can't, if I'm Athletic Club Boise, if I'm this new soccer stadium, I kind of can't think of anything better going in that space than this park. It sounds like a real community hub for this area. There's going to be a skate park, live music space, a zip line for adults. I didn't know that I wanted that, but now I'm curious.
What?
I'm curious about, it's been reported, zip line for adults. I don't know.
Wow.
We'll see what that means. But are there any long-term concerns about, maintenance costs or anything after the Biden rescue plan runs out about how to maintain all of this community space?
Yeah, I talked to Bob Batista with Expo Idaho about that, and he told me that, hey, we know how to, that park specifically is sort of going to be under their purview, and they've run parks in unincorporated Ada County and really youth athletic fields as well. They sort of sit right there in front of Expo Idaho. Those are gone now, but they have experience running those and keeping them up. So he feels pretty confident that he and his crew know how to work with that. And as far as, I think most of your updating maintenance costs are going to be attached to the soccer pitch itself and grandstands and stuff like that. I mean, ACB, they signed a 30-year lease, so hopefully they can all make it work. I think really the big question for them being able to pay for all that and it, not being a disappointment where maybe this doesn't fully go through and those youth fields don't happen is if people don't show up to support this team. But I mean, we were part of the broadcast for them revealing just their colors and their seal and their symbol and their name, and that got thousands of people out there just for that, just for the opportunity to see that. So I think that we've finally seen a change and a turn where people in this community have gone from, I'll let my kid play youth soccer to hopefully being real soccer fans. And I think it'll be huge, and it will hopefully affect things around them as well. We've heard more talk, and I've heard it for years, but it may actually be happening where Boise Hawks baseball team might be getting a new stadium, and this would be the time to do it right around that area. But you see how much a park can really affect the whole area around it. Again, hate to do this to you again, but when I was growing up here, Eagle and Fairview, they had like some farms and a dairy farm around there. But then when they put in that huge park there, it was only after that that the village went in, and that became, such a draw for people not only in and around Meridian, but the whole valley. It's possible, and I think that organizers are hoping that this New Les Bois Park there, right along the river in the heart of Garden City, will do the same thing for that area.
I think that is a good point that, when we think about economic development or what really enriches an area, I don't think park necessarily comes to the front of everybody's mind, or they're like, yeah, no, we got a neighborhood park. I don't know. Do we need another park? But I do think that has, if people are going there, they're going there for concerts. The kids are playing there. So you drop off the kids, you need to go do a little shopping. Where are you going to go? Just, in the neighborhood. It does have the ability to really shape that area and influence what kind of development will be happening there. And there is still land at Expo, Idaho that hasn't been redeveloped yet. What conversations now are happening about what could come next?
Well, as we talked about, the Boise Hawks could be getting a new stadium. They need some room maybe for something a little bigger or expansive there. The plan for Athletic Club Boise is to first start with the pro soccer pitch and then add some youth public fields, and then more and more, and continue to stretch those youth fields all the way to Chinden, which, if you know, is quite a bit of space there. I think that really, again, as we've seen from that Eagle Fairview area, the sky's the limit for those folks, and they're really excited about it, even though, again, it's all on Ada County land. Really, the city of Garden City and all the surrounding area could benefit from just the people that it's drawing in.
And since this is on Ada County land, I do want to ask, what is the county's role in this? How are they working with other entities like Garden City and private developers? How are they delineating who's in charge of what, who's managing what, and working together to make sure that this is a partnership that really functions for everybody?
Yeah, luckily they already had people in place there at Expo, Idaho, like Bob Batista, who's been doing similar things, running events. As far as the games themselves, that's going to be, of course, Athletic Club Boise. Those will be their events. They'll run that. As far as the park goes, that'll be Ada counties, and they'll have their crews and staff run that. So it seems like they're all pretty squared away that this is a bigger sort of project and event, and just a bigger deal than maybe some of these folks altogether have been a part of, but they do have experience. They're ready to go. And even though it is called Athletic Club Boise, really it sits on county land for really, I think they're hoping to be the soccer club for the whole valley and for the whole state.
One thing I am a little nervous about, and I'm not sure if this is misplaced worry, but the Greenbelt already feels, maxed out in some areas. And I feel like I'm the feral cat and I'm dodging the bikes and the Lime scooters. I'm nervous. It's scary. I'm just trying to be in the environment. So with all of this new development opening in such a short time frame, is there any plan for how this space will be impacted, or any plans for how to manage the increased pressure to that area?
First off, a little peek behind the curtain. I think it's funny, Lindsay, that at the start of this, we were like, are we going to mention feral cats at all? And then it's pretty much all we've talked about.
It's really the theme running through this whole conversation.
It is the theme. That's going to be the title of the episode. Feral cats, and maybe other stuff if we have time.
They're developing for the feral cats, but there'll be stuff for the humans too.
I absolutely hear you that it might make the Greenbelt a little busier, but I think that also the park is going to be a big public space, 50 acres. So it might draw more people to that Greenbelt area, may make it a little busier. But boy, for me, when I see public spaces being used, maybe even used a little too much, I think that's money well spent. It's funds well spent. It's resources well spent. It's land well used. So
fair enough. And you cover the development trends at KTVB through your Growing Idaho series. How does what's happening at Les Bois Park and Expo Idaho compare to the other high-profile growth projects that are happening around the Treasure Valley? Does this one feel different in any key ways?
So Bob Batista over with the county at Les Bois Park, Expo Idaho, talked about this being good growth, that it's not just a bunch more houses. It's not just a subdivision. It's not just a strip mall. This is a park, a public park where it's going to be built and then everyone is welcome. And this is a soccer stadium where they can have a bunch of events where you can come see that, and then public athletic fields. So it's not one more thing that looks exactly like, what's gone in Meridian or Orange County, California, or wherever. This is a place where you can live somewhere else or maybe right near this and go and enjoy a park and go and enjoy a game and go and enjoy whatever is going on at Expo, Idaho. I don't think these are things that I hear people complaining about. Like, they're not like, oh man, one more park, really? And it's right along the river, really? And these
they're putting
fields,
in a zip line.
That's sort of breaking news to me. I did not see that in the plans. So also, I'm a little insulted that they say an adult zip line. Are they suggesting that all zip lines aren't for adults?
I don't know. Have you seen those ones at the park? Like, I can't.
Oh,
I don't know.
those.
I'm guess maybe I'm a little too hippie. I can't sit on those and like get across. So I'm like, is this something for me? Like, I would like to. It sounds fun.
Girl, I must have childbearing hips because I try to get on those too. And my wife is just looking at me the whole time like I can read her mind. She's like, that's not a good idea.
Well, Justin, as always, it is great to have you on the show and get to chat with you about what's happening around the city. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My absolute pleasure, Lindsay. Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure and tell your friends about the show. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another great local story. Catch you then.